This episode is brought to you by Squatching.com and made possible by listeners like you. Make sure to check us out on Venmo at Bigfoot UFO.
Previously on All Things Unexplained.
We are counting down our favorite summer things on the screen. It might be movies, it might be television shows.
All right, Kim, what was the number 3 Heathers?
Oh yeah.
This is again, yeah, is that are you okay with that?
Ann and Dougherty, right?
We're going twisted again. I'm okay with that. I do have a clip of that.
All Things Unexplained. Hosted by Dr. Mounts,
Let's face it, we were always ready to roll without him anyway.
CJ Derringer,
Ain't nobody perfect, right?
and Smitty Neebs.
I've never planned out hardly anything my whole life. I just freeball.
Featuring Cajun Man.
I'm just old nobody, somebody looking for somebody.
Verona?
Okay.
They all want me as a friend or You blow it tonight, girl. And it's keggers with kids all
They are in
next year.
school.
Oh boy, this is a
That's how everyone got
family-friendly
to
show.
know.
Have you ever seen Heather's, CJ?
What is happening?
I couldn't tone this down. There was no way.
I'm a
We're gonna have to
build up man
bleep some of this out when we turn this into a podcast.
So Kim was where
Just
the
killed my best
twisted
friend.
part of Twisted Teachers obviously came from.
You can do Heather's handwriting as well as your own, right?
I must say I was impressed to see that she made proper use of the word myriad.
Oh, there's where it comes in.
Fair. Sorry to hear about your friend. Thought she was your usual airhead.
Sorry for
I prayed for the death of Heather Chandler many times.
Whoops.
And I felt
Hold
bad
on.
every time I did it, but I kept doing it anyway. Now I know you understood
The
everything.
sensor is late. I got a
Praise
beat button
Jesus.
somewhere.
Hallelujah.
I can't
I've
find
cut
it.
off Heather Chandler's head, and Heather Duke's head is sprouted back in its place.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe I've never seen this
Going to
one.
prom or to hell?
And another creepy prom reference too. What about that?
Did you pre-listen to this clip before you played it on this show, Tim Mounts? My goodness. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Isn't it
Ooh.
obvious? Now this one's obvious.
Bring
to
us
me.
bring
It
us
was either
bring
this
us back,
or Mean
Kim.
Girls.
How is this related to teaching?
Because they're all in high school. They're all named. It's a
Oh,
clique. I'm
boy.
gonna read to you. So, at Westbrook High, where cliques rule, jocks dominate, and all the popular girls are named Heather. It's going to take a Veronica and a mysterious new kid to give teen angst a body count. So it is. I think I'm gonna go positive for the next two. I promise. It's Winona Ryder, who was the best
Beetlejuice.
actress Shannon at the time
Doherty,
before
right?
she started stealing
Okay.
stuff, way before that. And
I think she's a Heather.
yeah, and yes, Beetlejuice, of course. It's just so campy. I think I forgot who there's 3 Heathers and a girl named Veronica. I don't know all the actresses. But it's just really mean and twisted, and they're so over the top, of your archetype of mean girl. These girls are just the popular ones, and then they just go on a murder spree and killing each other. So it does speak to cliques and to stop acting in high school. I don't know. It was the one that came to my mind. So Tim, you have to watch it. You have to let me know
I
what
gotta
you
check
think,
it out.
'cause-
It makes me think of another movie that should have made my list, but somehow it did not. But The Faculty. Have any of y'all ever seen The Faculty? Where all of a sudden all the teachers in school are actually aliens plotting to
Yeah,
take
I
over
did
the
see
world.
that actually, which is shocking.
Yeah, and Frodo's in it. Yeah, Frodo's in it. it's a great movie.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Sounds about right.
But I gotta check out
And
Heather's.
you'd like to officially issue an apology
Okay, I'm
to
done.
the listeners.
I'm done with Heather's. The clip says it all. I don't need to say anything.
Hey, it is after 9 p.m.
I am not apologizing for my choices.
That's why Dallas came.
No, don't.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
why
I'm
Dallas
proud
came
of
on at
my-
9
So,
p.m.
girl, we'll just
After
censor you
After
later.
Dukes of Hazzard.
I choose my choice, and those are my choices.
Da-dun,
If you had watched
da-dun,
movies-
da-dun, 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 da-dun. Oh yeah, right. Dukes Hazard, family friendly. Put the kids to bed. Come back quickly. Commercials over. See what JR's up to.
Remington Steele.
Ooh, yeah, solid.
CJ, what was your number 3?
My number 3, and I have not seen this movie in a long time, but Good Will Hunting.
Oh,
I feel like has to make the list. I mean, talk about a sad movie, but also an inspirational movie. And I think that there are so many people out there with so much potential.
My
remember this scene?
Is that prior to the Revolutionary War, the economic modalities, especially in the southern colonies, could most aptly be characterized as agrarian pre-capital.
All right, of course that's your
Hang on a
contention.
second.
You're a
How you like
first-year
them
grad
apples?
student. You just got finished reading some Marxian historian, Pete Garrison probably. You're gonna be convinced of that till next month when you get to James Lemon. Then you're gonna be talking about how the economies of Virginia and Pennsylvania were entrepreneurial and capitalist way back in 1740. That's gonna last until next year. You're gonna be in here regurgitating Gordon Wood, talking about, you know, the pre-revolutionary utopia and the capital forming effects of military mobilization.
Well, as a matter of fact, I won't, because Wood drastically underestimates the impact.
Wood
So here's a
drastically-
question
Wood
for you.
drastically underestimates the impact of social distinctions
Good Will
predicated
Hunting.
upon wealth, especially inherited wealth.
Is it a
You got
teacher
that from
movie?
Vickers. Work in Essex County, page 98.
Is
right?
it about a troubled
Yeah, I read
savant?
that too. Were you going to plagiarize the whole thing for us? Do you have
Or
any
is it a
thoughts
love story?
of your own on this matter?
All 3.
Or is that your thing? You come into a bar, you
Actually,
read some
it's
obscure
probably
passage and
more
then
about
pretend
his
you
connection
pawn
to
it
his
off as your own?
therapist.
As your own idea just to impress some girls? Embarrass my friend?
Robin Williams is the therapist in that
See,
movie.
the sad thing about a guy like you is in 50 years, you're going to
Does that
start
count
doing
as a
some thinking
teacher
on your
movie?
own, and you're going to come up with the fact that there are 2
I'll
circles.
accept it.
Therapy.
One,
Well,
don't
here's
do that.
why. Just will you wait?
two,
I
you
will
dropped
tell you why it's a
150
teacher
grand.
movie.
You got for $1.50 in late charges at the public library.
You have not censored these.
I just
clips.
beeped.
Yeah, but I will have a degree. And you'll be serving my kids fries at a drive-thru on our way to a skiing trip.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but at least I won't be unoriginal. But I mean, if you have a
After he
problem
said
like
it.
that, I mean, we could just step outside. We could figure it out.
Oh man, that's okay.
Oh man, there's no problem. It's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Damn right
Cool.
it's cool.
How you like me now?
Boom, sucker.
My boy's wicked smart.
My boy's wicked smart.
Wicked, yes.
Go get you a cannoli now.
Yes. So there are many, many connections to education in this movie, in my personal opinion. So number one, he is a janitor at MIT, right? If I'm not mistaken. And a teacher, a professor, puts a problem on the board and can solve it, but this janitor can. He can solve it. So he solves it. So then the teacher puts another one on the board the next day that's even harder, and he catches him solving it, and he tries to get him to, see his full potential and what have you. Then he gets connected to Robin Williams, and they dive a little bit deeper into their backgrounds. But for me, why this one's important is, having been a teacher, and I'm sure all of you can speak to this, there are lots of people whose potentials will never be met because they can't afford to, because they're born into situations where they have to just go get their first job that they can get. They have to support their family. They have to take care of their brothers and their sisters. They have to help their mom. They have to do whatever. I had so many students that I knew wouldn't get past 8th grade, no matter how brilliant they were, because they had to help with their family. And I feel like that's true to this particular story too. His potential was completely unmet because he had to go and get a job. And he got into lots of trouble and grew up in a terrible situation. And so I think in terms of education, this one's pretty on point. So question me again, Tim, about whether or not that's a teacher.
Well, you know what? My favorite parts.
How about them apples?
I like apples. Do you like? My
would
favorite
agree.
parts were the math parts. I found myself wishing this entire movie was more about the math. Like, I really wanted to see him pursue his math dreams. And, you know, I think I kind of liked A Beautiful Mind better than Good Will Hunting.
Oh, I love A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, thanks. It's not on my list, though.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, it speaks to that movie. Also speaks to the inherent bias we have about people and assuming they don't have the intelligence because of their social status, and I think that speaks to that quite a bit too.
But also that he was he or was he
Good.
not troubled in some way?
Oh, he's very troubled. He had a long rap sheet. He was constantly getting in trouble with the police. He was abused growing up. He ended up connecting with the therapist because the therapist also had a really bad childhood growing up. And
So it also, I think, speaks to the country's complete inadequacy of dealing with mental illness or mental issues.
For sure.
Complete inadequacy is a perfect commentary on that.
Yeah.
That's another day, another podcast.
Listener George says, that is the first time I ever heard anyone say, I wish this was more about the math.
I thought the same thing.
Yes,
I'm like, did you want to see him actually?
I wanted to see him work the problem out. I wanted to see him like invent a new telescope or something and create a new branch of mathematics. I was just getting kind of...
I always want to do a parody of that one where I'm just adding numbers and like doing basic multiplication facts, trying to figure that out. But that's my next TikTok. There you go, Jen.
Oh, there you go. So here, I'm going to lighten it up for just a second because that was super serious. If that movie had not happened, Kim and I would not have been able to talk about Ben Affleck for like most of our episodes. He is mentioned at least once. So we owe good will hunting that.
Okay, it started with him telling everyone his back tattoo was not real. You don't do that and expect nobody to make fun of you. It's a big whatever on his back.
Back tattoo's not real?
No, he told J-Lo and Jennifer.
He said it was fake.
He said, it's for a movie. And he was telling people, no, it's like, he's on Sucky Tattoos. So I have a lot of tattoos. So there's a Instagram, it's called Sucky Tattoos. And he was on there because he had, I think it's a Pegasus or a dragon. It's absolutely horrible. And he told everyone it was just for the movie, but it's a real tattoo all over his back. Like he didn't see it at any point. So that just started the whole thing that we were making fun of him. And then it's just gotten really bad. I feel like if we grow anymore, we're going to get some kind of like cease and desist order.
Cease and desist, yeah.
Don't tell people it's not a real. He told Jennifer Garner it's not real.
Oh my gosh.
No, not okay. Not okay.
Was it a lower back tattoo?
It's not okay.
Oh.
So yeah.
Like his whole
all over his back.
Like a panorama.
I know what,
entire back.
Yeah.
I know what they call a lower back tattoo on a woman. What do they call a lower back tattoo on a man?
It's not real. For a movie. It's the same.
It's the same. They call it the same thing.
I have had discussions because we go to a lot of tattoo conventions, and I always ask, "What's the weirdest place you've tattooed?" And so, if you're interested, check out some of our episodes.
We'll check that out. Speaking of, we're talking to Kim and Jen from the Twisted Teachers podcast, and we are so glad they're here with us. I think our listeners can check out Twisted Teachers podcast everywhere they listen to podcasts.
Yeah, I've brought a little salt into the episode today. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I love it.
But,
speaking of salt, here's a salty clip of my.
Oh, we like the
number
salt.
3, right? My number 3 summer movie, which may or may not have anything to do with teaching.
It's going to be Shrek,
but it definitely has to do with male teachers' favorite time of year. That's all I'm going to say.
Sorry.
There's a force in the universe that makes things happen. And all you have to do is
Must be
get
something
in
to do
touch
with golf.
Stop thinking. Let things happen.
He's got some great advice.
Be the ball.
Be the ball.
I want you to kill every gopher on the course. Check me if I'm
It is
wrong,
golf.
Sandy,
I
but
called
if I
it.
kill all the
It has to do
golfers,
with golf.
they're gonna lock me up and throw away the key.
Golfers! You cricket, not golfers! The little brown furry rodents!
We can do that.
Hey!
We don't even have to have a reason.
Do it, man!
All right, let's do the same thing, but with gophers.
Hush!
It's not my fault nobody can understand what you're saying.
No.
Oh, this your wife. Oh, a lovely lady. Hey, baby, you're all right. You must have been something before electricity, huh?
Ronnie Dangerfield.
One more at the pool. This is my favorite pool scene, almost. And y'all actually referenced this earlier. CJ said it. This could segue into one of my future picks. Somebody dropped the baby Ruth into the pool. Doody. Don't touch it. So what's great is, you know, there was Bill Murray there talking about the gophers.
Doody.
And
Good
I don't
old
know if y'all
Doody.
remember, but after they cleaned the pool, so just because somebody dropped their baby Ruth, and talking about another classic candy, by the way, which I like a lot better than Reese's Pieces, but somebody dropped their baby Ruth in the pool and it's floating around, and you know what? It really does look like
poo.
Doody in the pool. That's right, the baby Ruth.
So
it
is,
really
is this Caddyshack?
It's Caddyshack, yes.
All right, so I can't even help you here with this about.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing, you know, so after they drained the pool, they spotted the baby Ruth in the pool, so they had to drain the whole pool, right? Close the whole thing down. And Bill Murray's walking around in there, you know, afterwards, and he finds the baby Ruth, and he picks it up, and he sniffs it, and he takes a bite. It's like, oh, baby Ruth.
I just
What's
remember
their
him
problem?
trying to find the gopher with the fly swatter. That's what I remember from that movie.
Oh, yeah, and it has some great music. Remember,
But he went to school at some point. He was in a classroom at some point. So.
you remember, I'm all
At some
right.
point. Teacher movie. There you go.
Don't nobody worry about me. Come on, the song, and the gophers are dancing.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
I do. Why do I remember all of this, but I can't remember half the things I need to remember in my life?
Listener George Winter says, okay, I love golf. One of my favorite movies. Thanks, George. But the only thing that movie taught me was how not to kill a gopher. I feel like that's a good
So
lesson.
George is with us. That movie had no teaching references whatsoever. But you keep on your streak, Tim. You keep on your
He
streak.
literally said it taught him a valuable skill.
None.
How not to kill a gopher.
I can't wait to hear your number one.
Right.
It's horrifying.
Star Wars, right? Okay.
No. Star Wars. Hey, you know what? Star Wars has a lot to do with teaching. And speaking
Oh
of
boy,
May
we
the
better
4th,
move on.
May the
We better
4th
move
was
on.
just this week.
Did I start something? Sorry.
You could
You gotta
go on
be
and
careful
on
when
and
you
on
say
and
Star
on and
Wars
on.
in a crowd because you don't know what's gonna happen.
This is the way, Kim. This is the way.
And I am possibly the only person on the planet that has never seen a Star Wars movie, so I can't help with Star Wars. But
The force is not strong. In
the force is
CJ.
not with me. That's for sure.
I'd take
I'm
my-
not your
All right, let's
father.
move on to number 2.
Okay, I hope in one of the things I sent you, you've got Dead Poets Society.
Number 2.
You won't believe our next episode.
So great. But I actually thought that this is what school was going to be like, right? I grew up watching Saved by the Bell, and I thought I'd go to this tiny little school with the one classroom, and you'd have the same teacher for 4 years, and the principal knew all of the kids, and I'd be Kelly Kapowski, and I would date, Zach, and it would just all be great. Everybody would have school spirit. We'd all play all of the sports, but high school wasn't actually like that. But that show, I mean, I think I've seen every episode. I don't know how many times, and I actually started telling time based on Saved by the Bell. Like, my parents would say, okay, it's going to be a 3-hour road trip. And I would go, okay, well, that's 6 Saved by the Bell episodes. So that's kind of a long time to get there. Like, truly. You've been listening to All Things Unexplained. If you liked this podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. If you would like to hear more All Things Unexplained, be sure to follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts. Our show depends on the support of listeners like you. Find us on Venmo under the business accounts. Just look for @Bigfoot UFO. Additionally, you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/unexplained. If you can't get enough of us, go ahead and check us out at allthings-unexplained.com. A special thanks to our producer, director, sound mixer, editor, and the man who wears far too many hats. No, seriously, he wears a lot of hats. Dr. Tim Mounts. Without you, we couldn't keep the lights on. Thanks for listening to All Things Unexplained.